There are some games that try to be emotional, some try to be cinematic. And then there's Mr. Mosquito, a game where you play as this tiny little bloodsucker trying to survive the summer by draining an unsuspecting Japanese family, one super strange body part at a time. It's weird, it's kinda creepy sometimes. There's even boss battles where a girl tries to shoot you out of the air with a shower head. But somehow, it's still fun. This is one of the stranger games on the PlayStation 2. And I'm covering it because I'm building a brand new side series I'm calling Oddities. It's where we shine a light on the weird and forgotten or just plain unexplainable games from the past. These are going to be shorter videos that I drop midweek, kind of a bonus upload between the usual deep dives. So if you like the bizarre, weird one-offs like this, there's a whole lot more coming.
How was it the first time? I hope you enjoyed your first blood suck.
Alright, well, let's go ahead and jump into this one. Mr. Mosquito, or Mr. Mosquito if you played it over in the PAL regions, is hands down one of the weirdest games on the PlayStation 2, at least for me. And I'm not just throwing this out there to be funny. This is a stealth game where you play as a mosquito. So yeah, your job is to sneak around a normal Japanese household and suck blood from people living there, without getting noticed or swatted. That's the game.
This is all because of a mosquito.
So our little friend here, his name is Mr. Mosquito. You've set up camp inside the Yamada family's home, and your goal is to stockpile enough blood during the summer so you don't die in the winter. But it isn't just fly around and drink some blood. It's a little more than that. You can only land on very specific parts of the body, and only when they're exposed. Each family member moves around the room on a loop, like a little patrol path. You have to wait for the right time to sneak in and hit your quota, without raising their stress meter. Because if they get too stressed, they'll start going crazy. And suddenly it's a full boss battle against a human. And somehow, it works.
What? I see you! I'll boil you alive! How do you like the scalding water, huh? Bye! Would you like some more? Relax.
So the Yamada family aren't villains. They're not cartoons. They're just regular people living their lives. And that's part of what makes this game so strange. Where you play as the mosquito, quietly flying around their home, feeding off them while they try to do their everyday routines. Each member of the family has their own space, their own habits, and their own moods. And each one becomes more stressed the longer you're around. Rina is the teenage daughter. You'll encounter her first. Her stages are set mostly in her bedroom or the bathroom. And her movements follow a specific loop. She doesn't speak much, but her posture and reactions shift depending on how tense she gets. She's one of the easier characters to learn, but her stress ramps up fast if you're not careful. Keniichi is the father. He starts off really quiet, watching TV, not really moving around all that much, but the moment he notices you, the calm disappears. His reaction is immediate and aggressive. He's got some of the most intense battle mode encounters in the game, and you'll need to be precise to not get swatted. Kaneo is the mother, and she feels the most unpredictable. Her stages often involve multitasking, cleaning, pacing, or checking on things. She's more sensitive to your presence than the others, and her reaction window is a bit tighter. She also has some of the hardest boss fights, especially later on. The family dynamic is never directly spelled out, but just in their space, observing them, navigating around their lives, giving you a strange sense of the familiarity. You're not told who they are, you just start to understand them by surviving around them and sucking their blood. Each stage has its own room in the house. You get a briefing before it starts. They show you who's in the room, the amount of blood-sucking points you have, and what kind of hazards might be in the room. There's objects you can bump into, air conditioners that blow you around, bug spray clouds that you have to dodge, and even sometimes poison. Some suck points don't activate until the person does a certain action. Others are only accessible for a split second during their loop. It's trial and error, but once it clicks, it's weirdly satisfying. Every level's fully explorable too. There's hidden heart rings that give you more health if you collect 50, and you can even unlock new skins if you beat some of the fights fast enough. There's also extra blood containers that allow you to get additional blood to gain experience. Just real quick, if you're into this kind of stuff, forgotten games, weird one-offs, or just titles that slip through the cracks, consider subbing to the channel. This is what I do here. I dig them up, break them down, and try to give them the attention they deserve. And there's a lot more where this came from. So if you're interested, stick around with me, and let's build this game vault. So the simplicity in the gameplay loop kind of masks how tense and sometimes technical the game can actually be. Like I had said, it drops you in a fully explorable room in the house, and you're given a target. And the fact that each of the suck points on the different body parts are only exposed for a certain time during this loop they make, it makes it a waiting game, but also trying to fly around the room and get the angle right. Because if you don't get the angle right, you bounce off. It's very precise. So you're just watching and waiting, flying in slow circles, studying their movement patterns, and waiting for your moment. Once you latch on, you gotta manage the suction speed. Too fast or too slow, and their stress meter rises. And if you let it get to red, they'll snap. You get swatted, and it's an instant death. If you're caught flying around their face, it kicks into battle mode. And these play out like a boss fight. The humans will attack, slapping, spraying, or swatting at you depending on the stage. To calm them down, you have to hit specific pressure points, these glowing spots on their body. When you land all of them, they return to normal. But if you fail, you're done. You die. You start the level over from scratch. Now the camera is extremely janky. The flight controls take time to adjust. The turning is very slow, but the depth comes from that tension. The way you're constantly hovering between calm and chaos, you're never really safe. Even when they're relaxed, one bad angle or missed beat, and it falls apart. Exploration adds another layer. Like I had said, every room is packed with these tiny hidden items, power-ups, extra storage, unlockables. You can find alternate skins for Mr. Mosquito to swap. Sometimes even boost your performance mid-stage, like rings that give you extra health or make blood-sucking more efficient. The design keeps things fresh by changing up hazards. Air conditioners can knock you out across the room, bug zappers light up when you get too close, and one of the later fights turns the entire room into a living arena, where you're dodging a stream of water like it's a high-pressure cannon. There is a learning curve and some trial and error, but once it clicks, there's a rhythm to it. Each level becomes this strange, like stealth puzzle. Part timing, patience, part improvisation. And it's very addicting.
Miracle Arena!
Mr. Mosquito was originally called Ka, the Summer at the Yamada Residence, when it was first shown off in Japan, just before the 2001 Tokyo Game Show. It was developed by a smaller studio called Zoom, and Sony themselves actually published it in Japan. That says a lot. This wasn't just some gag game. They backed it because it was weird, but it was also genuinely unique. Outside of Japan, it almost didn't happen. But the Eidos picked it up under a short-lived label called Fresh Games. The label was made specifically to take chances on oddball titles like this, games that usually never get a Western release. It came out in 2002 in North America and Europe, with almost no marketing. And despite the strange premise, it did well enough in Japan to earn a sequel. But that one never left the region. So how was Mr. Mosquito received? Honestly, it was kind of all over the place. In Japan, it actually sold really well, over 160,000 copies in its first year. And it even made Sony's PS2 the best budget line. But in North America and Europe, it didn't land as clean. Critics were mixed, some called it clever and unique, others just thought it was too weird to take seriously. But the late 2000s, it started showing up on a lot of weirdest games ever made lists. Game Informer, G4, even Games Radar. Some of those write-ups were playful, others felt more dismissive, treating it like a joke, instead of engaging with the mechanics underneath. But if you dig a little deeper, you'll see that over time, the game built a bit of a cult following. People started to look back and realize that, yeah, it's weird, but it's also really creative and surprisingly well designed for what it is.
What?
It might have been overlooked at launch, but today it's remembered as one of those games that dared to be completely different, even if it got laughed at on the way. So now we get to the main point of the video. Why should you play it? Because it's a reminder that games used to take chances. Before everything was live service and open world checklists, we had studios out here letting you play a Mosquito. Not for the meme, not to go viral, just because someone thought it was weird and fun. An idea worth exploring. And somehow it works. Underneath the bizarre concept, there's a surprisingly well thought out game. You have a pretty solid stealth system, You have enemy patterns, timing windows, spatial awareness, all wrapped inside a setup that nobody else would have dared to make. It's also short, you can beat it in a few settings, or really one. And the pacing never wears out the joke. If anything, it leans into the absurdity while still respecting the player's time, and because it's so different from anything else on the PS2, it sticks with you. You remember this one. You feel it when you see that yellow briefing screen or hear the hum of the room before a stage starts.
Wasn't here, was it?
And here's the bigger thing with it. Playing Mr. Mosquito now, especially in 2025, it says something. It says you still care about originality. It says you're not afraid to try something offbeat. And honestly, it says you understand that even the weirdest games deserve to be preserved, talked about, and experienced. If you're someone who loves digging into forgotten corners of gaming, if you're tired of the same formula on repeat, or if you just want to experience something you won't find anywhere else, play Mr. Mosquito. And that's going to wrap up Mr. Mosquito. It's the very first entry in this new Oddities Room series I'm doing, and this is going to be the second midweek upload moving forward. It's not part of the main 4 playlists, just something a little extra. A spot where we can explore the weird, the niche, the games that don't really fit anywhere else, but still deserve a spotlight. And if you've got a strange one that you grew up with, or something you think nobody else remembers, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear what weird games meant something to you. And if it doesn't fit in the Oddities, it could fit in one of my other series. And really thank you all for being here, whether you're new or you've been watching for a while now. I really appreciate you. Every view and comment, it all helps this thing grow. And it gives me something to be super proud of. I really don't take it for granted. I'll see you again this coming Saturday for our next full-on video. But until then, I'll see y'all later.